bring it to Jesus. Getting divorced is a sin, and a lot of teachings of church harmed our marriage actively.
That was all before I embraced Islam. As soon as I knew and understood the beauty of marriage that Islam installs into both man and woman, it's beautiful.
Di Barat, pernikahan sering dibungkus janji suci. Tapi di baliknya, drama sengketa harta dan perebutan anak jadi santapan harian. Sementara di Islam, janji itu bukan sekadar momen manis saat cincin melingkar di jari, tapi kontrak hidup dengan peran jelas, hak jelas, dan tujuan jelas. Dua dunia, dua nasib. Pertanyaannya, mana yang benar-benar bertahan? Gereja pernah memerintahkan wanita ini menjaga keperawanannya demi sebuah harapan suci, bahwa manusia yang disatukan Tuhan tak boleh dipisahkan. Ironisnya, justru perintah suci itu yang menghancurkan rumah tangganya, karena suaminya yakin gereja tak akan berani menceraikannya.
We got married young for a lot of reasons, but one of them was faith. And here are some ways in which actually having a faith background and a lot of teachings of church harmed our marriage actively. So as soon as we got married, we had been taught that, marriage is the most important thing. Getting divorced is a sin. And I internalized that at a very deep level. And as a result, staying married became my number one goal. Part of what I did was I didn't want to rock the boat at all. If I rocked the boat or brought up tensions or problems, I felt like I was being a bad wife. And so having the perspective that automatically a divorce is a failure and not letting some space and some wiggle room for mistakes was a big problem in our marriage. And had I had more of an authentic view that relationships have all kinds of problems and that divorce is a possibility even for really good people, I think I could have started earlier in my marriage talking about some of our real problems. Number two, I was told that God can fix everything and that I should just pray about it. And I took that to heart. Oh my goodness, did I try so hard to be such a good Christian wife. When things were hard for me, I would just pray. And then I'd heard in sermons a million times that if your grass is dying, then you should water your own grass. Or if the grass looks greener on the other side, you should water your own grass. And so when I was struggling in our marriage, most desperately, I would make sure to I would dig into our marriage. I would try to be a better wife. I'd try to have more sex with him. I would try to just acknowledge him or find ways to love him better. But that actually that backfired because he would often think our marriage was going amazingly. And when I would work the hardest at our marriage is when I was struggling the most. And so just praying about it, bring it to Jesus. Lastly, the teachings about sex actually were really harmful to our marriage, and they actually live in deep harm into our marriage until this day. Our sex life is a hot mess, and growing up in a place that doesn't allow for any exploration of sexuality, considers all sex outside of marriage sin. But our sex life is and has been the whole time. And honestly, the start we got in church was a big part of why.
Ajaran gereja seperti larangan cerai, kedengarannya suci kan? Tapi tanpa ilmu, itu seperti bilang, jangan mati tenggelam sambil mendorong orang ke laut tanpa pelampung. Tak heran jika media outrage melaporkan bahwa negara-negara barat seperti Amerika Serikat masuk daftar teratas kasus perselingkuhan. 71%, diikuti oleh negara Jerman dan Inggris. Ironisnya juga, tingkat perceraiannya pun ikut tinggi. Setidaknya itulah yang disaksikan seorang pemuda Inggris yang kini sudah mu'alaf di Malaysia dan justru menemukan keindahan Islam dalam hukum pernikahan yang penuh keseimbangan.
Assalamualaikum Samoa, Assalamualaikum everybody. The topic today is talking about marriage from an Islamic point of view, but talking about marriage from a personal point of view. I was trying as best as I could to remember some of the quotes that I have listed from the Hadiths and also from the Quran. There was 5 from the Quran and 5 from the Hadiths that were absolutely beautiful. Such a lovely way of summarizing marriage in Islam, but I can't remember them. And I was getting frustrated. And there's no point getting frustrated because this is such a beautiful topic and such a beautiful thing for me to have embraced, because I genuinely believed I would never get married. And I said it to my parents, I said it to my friends, I said it to so many people that good luck, God bless, inshallah, you have a good marriage. But for me, no thank you. And the reason why I thought that is because I'm born in the West, where percentage of divorce was ridiculously high. And the amount of times that I would see the mother get custody of the children, sometimes rightly so, but a lot of the times not. And also the fathers, they would lose half of their assets, half of their portfolio, half of their investments, future earnings, and custody of the kids, like I said. This did not sound like a very cool or fair idea for me. Or fair deal, should I say. Anyway, that was all before I embraced Islam. As soon as I knew and understood the beauty of marriage in Islam, I went from somebody that categorically was never going to get married to somebody that very quickly got married. When you actually understand the roles, responsibilities, duties, almost like the character building expectations that Islam installs into both man and woman, it's beautiful. It enforces a male to protect, to provide, to guide, to lead. And it is a woman's role to obey so long as her husband is leading her down the right path. So long as the husband is leading her in a way that actually will increase her deen, in a way that will raise children in the right environment. Just like me embracing Islam as a Muslim, I'm not surprised how quickly it took for me to get married and let go of all of these biases and traumatic feelings and emotions I have towards marriage just because I've witnessed other people's marriages fail. So what if other people's marriages have failed? Now, divorce is an option in Islam. It's not a great option, of course, but divorce is there for a reason, you know? It's like human beings. We're not angels. Repentance prayers are there for a reason because we do sin and we do things wrong. And what I love so much is that you both have responsibilities in Islam.
Ketika gereja menutup pintu perceraian rapat-rapat, seakan semua rumah tangga bisa diselamatkan dengan kata amin. Islam membuka pintu itu, tapi hanya sebagai jalan darurat, bukan jalur tol. Karena pernikahan bukan sekadar bertahan demi menghindari dosa, tapi bertahan karena ingin bersama-sama melangkah menuju surganya.